What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Bubble's BuzzerBeater, the unofficial official BuzzerBeater YouTube channel. I hope all of you are having a good second half of the season. I know playoffs are right around the corner, and as a lot of you know, my favorite time of the year with B3 predictions is here. The first round has ended, so you can see that the pool is reduced down a little bit. Shout out to HJW as well from Taiwan. 29 points in the first round leads everyone who's done predictions so far. I currently have 26, so I was able to get 26 of the 32 games guessed correctly. So you can see I'm right there tied for 10th. But love BuzzerBeater Best Tournament, one of my favorite things. So if you guys haven't made predictions for that, it's not too late. Go ahead and make some predictions. You'll see the exclamation point next to B3 predictions where you can make them right there. But for today, I wanted to kind of give an overview of what it looks like if you're a national team or U21 national team coach. So very recently, Saudi Arabia actually dipped down to 0 managers. So you can see on Saudi Arabia right here, there are currently no active teams, which is pretty sad, so I'm hoping that the BuzzerBeater app coming out soon will hopefully get a little bit of traction and we'll see a couple managers popping up there. But essentially, they had no coach for their U21 team, so I decided to accept this job offer for the national team, for the U21 national team. It is actually the first time I've managed a U21 team since my season 26 to 29 run where I was the USA coach. But yeah, essentially I'll just be I'll be the manager for one game. That's really all that's left for this season. Then maybe some scrimmages, and then I'll probably look at going in the election next season as well, and see if we can get something started for Saudi Arabia. But that's kind of where I'm at right now with it. Pointing out some things that a lot of people might not know is when you become a national team or U21 coach, there's a couple things that pop up on your screen that won't look familiar. So for example, those national team links up here, if you are not a national team coach, then you will not have these on here. But this will essentially bring you to the team page, the roster. You can see there's 16 players right here. Honestly, a little bit better roster than I was expecting. There's actually a couple higher salary players, especially for having 0 managers currently. But decent roster right there. And then you can go to the schedule and, of course, the standings. So pretty nice kind of quick way to go about that. So if you're wondering, how tedious it is if you're the manager to jump between pages, it's actually pretty easy. Other things you can look at for world rankings, if you wanted to check out the U21 rankings, just down here under NT rankings, you can click on that. And then this will show the senior team. You can go over to the junior team rankings. Saudi Arabia right now is all the way down at 93rd. So hopefully to end the season, we can try to win a couple scrimmages or something, or early next season kind of turn it around. Get that up a little bit. But as for looking at the roster and what it consists of for the U21 coach, most U21 coaches start out not in the middle of a season, so they start out with 0 players, and essentially you have to add players to your team. So you can see that there's 2 players remaining for options for me to call up. If you drop players on the team during the season, it kills your enthusiasm. So that's where I'll only have 2 call-ups left. I've called up a couple players before, but other thing where something that BuzzerBeater will probably look at adding eventually is there's not really like a national team scouting tool on BuzzerBeater. So Antoine was actually nice enough to go through a little spreadsheet for me that pulled all of the Saudi Arabian players that I can look at, and you can see that there are 65 total players to choose from. The light green highlights are the players who are currently on the roster. The blue were the players that I was interested in potentially calling up for this last game against Romania. And then the players in the red are either players who are in really bad game shape or I just know I won't be using for the upcoming game. But to kind of show you what it looks like for calling up a player, I was saving this player right here. So this guard, 19-year-old guard, 88k DMI. Definitely not like the best player ever, but I think he's actually decent. So I go ahead and copy the player number right there. Go back to the BuzzerBeater site, and then the best way to add players is just searching by player ID. So I'll search that up right there, and then you can see Mohammed Nasser right there. 19 years old, and the reason I liked him was he put up some decent ratings. You can see a 9.0 rating, 8.0 rating, so definitely not the worst player, and 9 game shape is very helpful for this upcoming game. So when you're looking at recruiting a player, it'll always have a tab that says recruit this player for your junior national team. If you're part of a micronation, another thing to keep in mind is a player cannot both be on the national team as well as the U21 national team. So it's either the junior national team or the main national team that can't be on both. So there was one player I was looking at who has like a 7 or 8k salary who was actually called up to the main team, so I can't recruit him. But as for Mohammed Nasser right here, you would just click on recruit, and then it'll give you the are you sure you want to recruit this player to the national team. Once you recruit him, as I said, you cannot drop him, otherwise it hurts your enthusiasm. So I'll just say yes. And then at this point, it shows the available skills right there. So you can see 75 total skill points, 9 game shape, good handling, driving, respectable all around there. So I'll see if I can fit him into the lineup. But that's kind of what you're looking at. This brings him to the national team roster. And then you're kind of the only person who can see these skills. So I know for a lot of national teams, the U21 coach works directly with like the community in that nation to come up with a plan, talk about roster and training. For Saudi Arabia, it's kind of like a one-man show with me right now. But if you guys are looking at running for a U21 team in the future, community building and working with the players, managers is really important. And especially it comes with a decent amount of respect, and with great power comes great responsibility. It's important to call up the right players and let the managers kind of know what's going on as well. But yeah, so going over to the scheduling, as I said, we play Romania, who has a pretty decent U21 team right there. So you can see high salary players on their roster. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 5 players above 20k salary, whereas for Saudi Arabia, cert by salary, Saudi Arabia only has 1. So I'm gonna do my best to come up with just the ideal lineup, and my guess is it's likely gonna be a loss, but we're gonna give it a go and see how it runs. But yeah, that's kind of the features for the U21 national team coach once they are elected. And then if you're worried about running for U21 because you're like, what if I don't know what to do once I become the coach? I've never done this before. The other nice thing is that in the forums, once you're elected, a thread chain or a folder actually opens up for NT coaches. So once you're a national team or U21 national team coach, you can see there's like a search for scrimmage thread. There's questions about how it works. There's questions about NT scouting tools, like a goodbye for national team coaches who are done running their term. And then if there's any sort of questions or concerns about like enthusiasm resetting or just general help, people are more than willing to help you out on this thread. And back when I was the coach, I remember helping a lot of new managers who were U21 coaches as well. So that's all I really wanted to go over today. I'll be posting some more videos here in the near future, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to Saudi Arabia. I'm hoping that we can get a couple managers once the app's up and running, because it's no fun to see these smaller micronations that don't have any active managers. So hopefully this will be a good start, and then I will probably go in the election for Saudi Arabia next election as well. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.